Instagram or Twitter? Anyone use devices on their cell phone, like or computer, or watch TV? Media and technology are amazing. They're helping us make our life easier. They're helping us compete more in the real world, and they're helping us expand. But through the research I've done, I've piled up a ton of evidence that highlights the issues with media and technology. And by taking control of the way we use social media and technology right now, it can lead us to a bunch of good habits that will benefit our future and keep us from making the same mistakes that billions of kids are making today. The problems I'm going to highlight to you are social media, TV and technology, and what we should be doing aside from focusing on so much. The first thing I'm going to highlight is social media. Social media is the most common form of media nowadays, and it's taking complete control of our lives. Research study done by Dr. Griffith and Dr. Daria Kuss, two doctors, did a social media study, and they found that small minority individuals, there was a detrimental effect to their real life relationships and academics, proving social media is an addiction. And new form of anxiety is called FOMO, which is a fear of missing out. You pretty much get it when you get the fear of not seeing something that will be on your social media, and then you have to get your phone out to see it right away. Social media is distorting people's views on how to handle life. A video on Simon Sinek and Tom Bilyeu, I don't know how to say his last name, but two famous people. Simon Sinek is an author and motivational speaker, and Tom Bilyeu is an entrepreneur. And they both specialize in helping people become their best selves. Simon Sinek says something about millennials, but it can apply to anyone. It's not just people our age. Says millennials, we're good at putting filters on things, showing that life is amazing even though I'm depressed. So it just gives insight on how people try to portray their life as being good when it's really not, and it's actually terrible, and they're not really doing much about it. Another issue can be like social media models and people that are light-skinned. They pretty much they take advantage of like their physical features, or they they portray themselves on social media. Social media models, they get sponsorships now. They're pretty much, their life is based on them working out, looking good, and just posting pictures. And then people like light-skinned people, they're like pretty much good looking, like could be female or males, black people. They just all they do is take care of their body, take care of their face, whatever. And they make YouTube channels, and they pretty much base their whole entire life on that. It's a problem because it invites laziness and conceitedness, something that we don't really need in the world. Next thing I'm going to talk about is technology. Adults now spend 5 hours and 4 minutes watching TV, and coming home from work and you're like stressed. 5 hours can fly by, but that's a lot of time. A TV can be tied to affect moods and relationships. A study was done said that TV can undermine what a real relationship is. So you would think what you see on TV is real, so you wouldn't appreciate what a real relationship actually is. And it affects lower lower verbal IQ, and lower memory retention. So our brains appears to strengthen as the more we recall memory. So our brain's pretty much like a muscle, so the more we use it, the more it gets strong and the more we can remember stuff. And now, since we're always looking stuff up with technology, we're not able to strengthen our brains to the point that we can remember things better. Shorter attention spans are also a problem. Before iPads, cell phones, and iPhones, we had a 12-second attention span. Now we have 8-second, which is less than a goldfish, which goldfishes are 9. Technology taking away our authenticity. Being authentic is being true to one's character, personality, and spirit. Instead of enjoying a concert, we are rather recording it. Instead of out with friends or family, instead of socializing, we are on our cell phones, texting other people, and that's the issue. Last thing I'm going to talk about is what we should be doing aside from that. When's the last time we've been to the park? Spent some time with our siblings. Like, what's going to make you feel better at the end of the day? Is it picking up a new habit, reading a book, doing your homework, looking at what needs to be done for the future? Or is it watching memes all day? Technology and media are amazing additions to our lives, but like anything, we need a healthy balance to it. So to sum up, pay attention to the amount of time you spend. Pay attention to the amount of time you spend on social media. Don't let it affect the way you handle life. Deal with your problems and experience life rather than recording it or watching on your phone. We only get one life, so don't waste it on technology and social media.
Right, you have an audience survey as an attention device, but you don't really look at people while you're taking that survey and react to anything that they suggest, they volunteer to share with you. The topic is pretty clear. I think your goal is stated also pretty effectively. You want us to develop some good habits, although later in the speech it's not really about developing habits, it's more about all the bad things that happen when people are so dependent on social media. There is a preview, but you are rushing through it a little bit, and I think the points need to be a little bit more distinctive. But all the technical, structural sorts of issues, you're doing okay on. In other words, you're meeting the requirements. You've got the mechanical stuff down pretty well. It still needs to become a little bit more skillful. The presentation factors, this is where there are some problems. You are in the corner for the most part while you're giving the presentation, back behind the desk. That's a little bit distancing between us and you as a speaker. I think that is a problem. The gestures are very limited. Occasionally you have indicators. Usually when you get to the end of a particular point, there's some attempt to be a little bit more engaging, but because you have notes in your hand a lot of the time, you don't really have very expansive gestures. Your facial expressions, it's about the same. When you look up and you engage us, you're okay, but you're not doing that very regularly, and you have a tendency to look down at your notes a lot. Your eye contact's inconsistent as a consequence. So you do, like I say, look out at the audience occasionally, and you do make brief contact with people, but you don't keep them engaged because you go right back to your notes and disengage with the audience, and that is a problem. Your voice, I think, projects pretty well. There's reasonable variety in it. I think that's good. The thing that might undermine it a little bit is the pacing. You're going a little bit slow, a little bit hesitant. There are some ums and ers and that sort of thing that goes along with reading. And that's another reason why you want to get the notes out of your hand and talk to us a little bit more. The anxiety level is low because everything is so low key. There's not much energy in the presentation. There's not, the subject matter needs to be a little bit more focused. I like some of the examples that you had. There was some reference to some information in the presentation, although there were also some things in there that I think are mostly just assumptions, and that could be a little bit problematic. Let's see. Oh, and you're dressed completely inappropriately. All right.